I'm here today to share some really important information with you about buying jewelry from online auctions. And that is, AI jewelry listings are not based on actual references from books or trademark listings. AI jewelry listings cite listings on other reselling platforms, which may be incorrect. This perpetuates a cycle of misinformation. Don't base your bids on potentially false information unless you want to lose money.
And I recently watched a video from Business Insider where they were talking about Goodwill. Now, the video was about how much Goodwill has grown over the years. However, they said that because Goodwill has grown so much, when Goodwill puts items online, they no longer have the time for their employees to write every listing. So what do you think happens? The photographs are taken, and then guess who writes the listings? Well, it's our good friend AI. Now the problem is that AI is not verifying the hallmarks. AI is looking at the photos, and then it's making a best guess based on what it finds online, which creates this loop of incorrect information. Now, I want to show you some examples of some of these loops that have pulled me in. These are actual things that have happened to me personally, and things that I want to teach you so that you don't fall for them in the future. First example is when I bid on these 3 sterling rings. Now, the description says that these are 3 sterling silver 925 rings from the company Wheeler Manufacturing Company. Now, I've had good experiences with rings from this company before, Wheeler Manufacturing Company. So when I saw I could get 3 of them, I jumped in and bid. I got the 3 rings for $18 before fees. When I received the rings, I looked on the back, and the rings are marked STER. So the rings are not marked sterling. They are not marked Wheeler Manufacturing Company, and they are not even marked 925. So what does this mean? Even when I felt the rings in my hand, I could tell that they were just a cheap silver tone ring. So this started my search. So I started searching. The first thing I did is I went and I put into my good friend AI a picture of one of the rings that I received. AI immediately said, "Rachel, this is an authentic Wheeler manufacturer ring." After a lot of back and forth, I finally found the ring that looks similar to mine. I have, unfortunately, spent hours arguing with AI about the fact that it is wrong, and it does not care. When I tell it it's wrong, it says, "Oh, sorry," and then it just makes up another lie. So I'm going to show you right here. So here's the hallmark on the fake ring that I got. Here's the hallmark on the similar looking ring that is correct. So here's the fake ring and here's the real ring. You can see that the Wheeler hallmark is very distinct. You can also see that the backs of the rings look completely different. The ring from Wheeler is actually very well finished on the back. The cheap ring, the dupe, is not. So what could I have done to prevent this? Well, honestly, I could have taken a few more minutes and done a bit more due diligence. All of the signs All the evidence was right there in the listing for me. But sometimes when we're bidding, we just don't always have time, and we like to be able to think we can rely on the auction companies to provide us with the information. The truth is, we can't. We cannot rely on them because we know for certain that these listings are not being created with care by their employees. Well, I've decided since I am retired that I'm no longer going to be the little nice girl and just let everybody take advantage of me. So what I'm doing is every time something like this happens, I am making a case. But the problem is, as soon as I start the case, they turn around and they say, Rachel, the burden is on you. So then I'm the one who has to prove it. So that's one option. You can make a case and you can do your best to prove it. The second option, some people might say, well, they're cute rings, you could just sell them. But actually, I don't really know that I can. First of all, I don't want to perpetuate the myth. I will not call these Wheeler rings. I will not call these sterling silver rings. And for these just being some cheap silver tone rings, I don't think I can make my money back on them. So these are rings that I can either put into a junk box and donate to a local thrift store, or I might just trash them and get them out of circulation. So how much money did I lose from those $18 rings? Whatever, Rachel, it's just $18. Well, actually it's a little bit more than that. So let's say it's $20 to keep the math simple. So I know if I can buy for $20 and sell for $100, that's my $50 net profit sweet spot. So I didn't just lose $18, I potentially lost $50 net profit. That money's gone. I can't resell those rings. I won't resell them. I won't put fakes back into the pipeline. I won't donate those. Those are going straight into the trash can. So potentially I just lost $50. If you've bid on something and you've won it and you believe that you've won a bracelet, let's say it's the Alexis Bitar bracelet and you think you got the real thing. So then you take it and you photograph it and you put it on your website. Now, if someone comes to you, they buy it from you, and what's going to happen? Well, if that person knows jewelry, then it's going to be a strike against you. They're going to complain. You're going to get this item was not as described. They're going to send it back. So that's the other bad thing about buying jewelry that's been listed by AI is it rifles through in many different ways. From the first wrong listing all the way to a listing that now gets sent back to you. There's so many different people that can get hurt in the process. Different people who can lose money in the process, and lots of different shipping back and forth of this item. Just all these different things that never should have happened. And a lot of it is because instead of trusting in our own brains, we're turning our listings over to AI. We think it knows what it's doing. It sounds like it knows what it's doing when it tells me things like, Rachel, this is indeed an authentic bracelet. Well, who am I to say no? Well, actually, who am I not to say no? With AI, let's just say that anything involving your money your hard-earned money, that cash that you've worked hard to create using your skills, your resources, your time, I would say always think AI is wrong until proven right. It's all there in one spot. You can get up at your usual time. You can search throughout the day as the auctions are closing. You can use the search functions. If you like a certain designer, you can search for that designer. You can search in a range of prices. And you can go through and you can mark your favorites. You can have the items you win delivered directly to your house. It's a lot easier to source jewelry that way than to go out and wander around your local community area, regional areas, at least for me, and try to find a few pieces here and there. So just know that in today's world, you will need to balance that with doing your due diligence. So maybe instead of spending an hour driving to the next town to go through an antique mall, maybe you need to take that time and make sure that you're checking the photos in every listing to make sure that the hallmarks match the designer piece of jewelry that you're about to bid up for. Because the other part of this is that once you receive it, but if I don't check, then I am bidding on what they're showing me. So just know that you have to be careful. It's so tempting when you want to curate vintage jewelry to buy it online. So I hope that you will consider this when you are bidding in online auctions. This is a very important part of the bidding process. I know sometimes it seems like the bidding is just about numbers and percentages and the fees, but a big part of it is also just making sure that you're getting what you're bidding on.